All right, everybody. Happy Tuesday, big waves to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Well, we're going to kick this off today on this Tuesday. I said as everybody was coming on, it's officially spring. If you're trying to get in sync with yourself, Lance McAllister, it's okay. Shake it off. Shake it off. Get in sync. Get in sync with the time of year. All right. It's funny how seasons mess with us, right? We had to calibrate. We had to calibrate to the season. So Karen Hill's on, she says, calibrate. It's still cold in Canada. We hadn't calibrated. We're still freezing up here. Well, guess what? In the South, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Okay. So, all right, the word for today. Oh, I want to remind everybody too, your word for the year, if you'll get it to Andrea Rosser, we'll absolutely look to it. I know we've got a lot that is asked about that. So get your word of the year to Andrea, and we'll definitely go over that. And we don't see any birthdays today. Um, but I do, it's we went into this word today just for the time of year, right? Because so many people are out trying to calibrate into a season, a new season, right? And so the word for today is nourish. Nourish. It means to provide what's necessary for growth, for health, for good conditions, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Like that's the definition of nourish. And really nourishing it goes way beyond food. Like when I first think of nourish, I think of nourishment, right? Like taking good supplements, right? Like we do if you're a part of our company, like we're putting good fruits and vegetables and plants in our body, allowing it to work on a cellular level. We're nourishing. We're really, I was sharing with everybody in Chattanooga last night. I said, listen, you're going to pay for your health one way or the other. Okay. If we don't take care of this body the good Lord gave us, we'll pay for our health on the back end with a lot of expensive meds. If we if we take care of our body and we're like, man, I want to live a healthy life, we're probably going to nourish our body on the front end and keep it along the path, Vicky, which is going to cost some money. Either way, we're going to pay for it. I just choose to nourish it on the front end, right? So but here's where I want to go this morning. You, I cannot pour from an empty cup. So, more importantly, think about this. You can't lead with love. You can't lead with um, living at your highest level if you're undernourished. Just can't happen. And I have people all the time, and I'm talking to myself, okay, because I wake up just like anybody else. We're human. We go through the battles of ups and downs, okay? That's just life. But at the end of the day, I have to look at myself and go, Brent, are you nourishing yourself where you can feel from a full cup? And I talk to people every day. Andrea, am I wrong or am I right? On the phone with people every single day, like just boom, 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 boom on the phone. And I can tell when someone is undernourished because they smile different, they talk different, they're more irritable, right? They're not happy. All those things that we all go through, people see it, they feel it. You're not hiding it from anyone. So when your cup's halfway filled and you're like, business is not going the way I want it to go, well, your cup's half filled. Everybody sees it. If you're like, my relationships are all over the place, well, your cup's half filled, right? If you're like, man, my health is terrible right now, Arlene, I put on 15 pounds. Guess what? Everybody sees it. Okay. No, you're not hiding any of this from anybody, although we try to as humans. Man, we hide our finances. We don't want to talk to anybody about not having money in the bank. Guess what? You're not hiding it from anybody. They know, they feel it, they sense it because we can't pour from a half empty cup. Like, so if I want to go out and I want to live a life of impact, if I want to flourish in my finances, if I want to flourish in my health, if I want to flourish in my business, then I got to nourish myself in the areas that I want to grow. So, because here's what it does. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's an audio, maybe it's tuning into the coach's corner, maybe it's just getting my day started right. Like nourishment fuels energy, just like it does our body. It also fuels clarity. It also fuels resilience, right? This life is hard. There's a lot of potholes in it. So I got to nourish myself or I will lay in that pothole and I'll wallow. Maybe that's a word we study, wallow. I'll wallow in the mud and the water of that pothole. So I got to nourish myself so that I can be resilient and get up out of that pothole, get back on the road. But also, nourishment creates longevity. And to me, it's that quiet foundation behind a strong, vibrant life. Like if Brent Palmer, 50 years old, wants to live a healthy life, then he's got to nourish himself, right? Doesn't mean I don't slip up, doesn't mean I don't get in a pothole, but I better nourish myself. If I want to live a a fruitful business, if I'm an entrepreneur, I got to nourish myself, man. What am I surrounding my ears with? What am I listening to? What am I putting into my mind so I can be resilient, so I can fight the good fight out there? Because at the end of the day, it's not a question of if it's going to be a battle. The question is what am I feeding myself in my body, in my spiritual walk, in my business, in my that can equip me with the resilience to keep moving. So that's where I'm going this morning with it on this Tuesday. Andrew, I'll turn it to you.
Great lesson, coach. And I love this word for a Tuesday. And my quote for the day came from the chat. Okay, so the quote that I'm going to say is from Dr. Jody. Thank you for this one. And she said, pay the farmer now or pay the doctor later. And I think that kind of sums up all of life. Like that's a great quote, Dr. Jody. And we're going to pay on one end or the other, right? So I can pay to nourish now or I can pay later to try to fix something up, right? And so what I looked into was where's the top 10 things? And I don't know if we'll make it through all 10. I'll try to go fast. But what are the top 10 things that we should nourish in our life? And coach, you touched on some of these, so I'll be quick. But first of all, our body. We've got to give our body the right fuel. We've got to move it. We've got to rest. We've got to go get out in the sunlight. We got to get hydration because we want to treat our body like it's something we want to keep strong for decades, right? For let's go make it centuries. Why not? In the Bible, they lived a really long time. Let's go do it. Let's go do that again, right? So, how can I nourish this body? Because guess what? If I'm not taking care of this, nothing else is going to work, right? I've got to take care of this vessel so that I can go do the hard things in the other spaces. Next is my mind. So, what am I feeding myself mentally every single day? Am I feeding myself mindless noise? Oh, yeah, so guilty. Anybody else get guilty and like get stuck on these reels where it's absolute nonsense? And I think, what in the world did I just waste like 8.5 minutes of my life for no reason? Feeding my brain garbage? Or am I giving myself some growth content? I'm reading some books, I'm listening to some podcasts. My great thoughts and good thoughts and negative thoughts, they actually don't just happen. They're influenced. So, what influence am I feeding myself so that what's going on between these two ears is actually positive and not garbage? Next is my relationships. I don't want to get to the end of the line and be just me. So I need to really nourish my relationships because you know what? They might survive, right? They might just make it through. But if I'm not nourishing it, it's not going to feel super great. It's not going to feel super connected. Like these kids of mine, they're not going to want to be around me if I don't give them my time and my attention and my presence and my appreciation. And that's true for all of our relationships. Next is our purchase. I'm not going to just idly get to fulfillment, right? I'm not going to accidentally drift into this fulfilled life. I've got to nourish that purpose by showing up even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable or chaotic or not as much fun, right? But I've got to nourish that if I want to be fulfilled. Next is my spiritual life, right? I've got to sit in some stillness. I've got to pray. I've got to reflect. I've got to build in some of that knowledge because that's where I'm going to find my clarity and all of that goodness. Next is my energy. We talked a lot about energy yesterday, and I can ask myself a simple question: what drains me? What makes me feel absolutely beat up? And if it's something I absolutely have to do, we'll schedule it in, right? Scheduled in, but scheduled in small blocks. And then ask the opposite question: what fills me up? What invigorates me? And fill my day with as much of that as possible and make sure that there's some sort of balance. Like if I've got to do the draining, right? We all have to do some things that aren't super fun. If I've got to do that, well, I'm going to balance it by things that give me that energy so that I can have a balanced life. Next is our environment. Is my home a disaster? Probably. Yes. Oh, yes. So go clean it up. Go do that purge that you've been talking about for 2 years now, right? Go clean out those closets, clean out your office because a cluttered space equals a cluttered mind, and we know we can feel it. Next is my growth. I've got to learn, I've got to stretch, I've got to evolve because you know what? We never stay the same. We either grow or we shrink. So let's go try to grow today. Next is our joy. And we can skip over this, right? Sometimes our life gets busy and chaotic and all of those things. And we can skip the joy way too often. But guess what? Fun isn't frivolous. It's the fuel that allows us to get through the things that we might not necessarily want to do. And then lastly, who I got there is our discipline. And this doesn't mean that we have to, go into a bad, harsh way, but in a way to respect ourselves because discipline is how we show up and how we are consistent and how we nourish ourselves throughout the days, on the good days and the bad days, is to show up with that discipline. So love that. Hope it was a good lesson for
That
you
was
guys.
a really good lesson. Maybe it was for me, but I felt it. I felt it. Arlene, what are you drinking this morning? Give us the goods on the greens there. Oh, I see. It's green. She can't unmute.
We'll
We'll get the
I'm not that
recipe
fast.
because this lady right here is all about nutrition. We want to know what that green is right there, Arlene. Okay, we'll find out tomorrow. We'll have Arlene on tomorrow. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, what is it, Arlene? Tell us.
It's 30, it's about 28 or 25 different vegetables in about a teaspoon of powder that you mix up with 3 ounces of good water, and you drink it down and you learn to live to be in your 80s.
Woohoo!
I want to tell you what, you're beautiful, lady.
Oh,
If
you're a
Venus
sweetie.
Venus hadn't told you that this morning, I want to be the first.
He's
Okay,
right here.
the first.
He takes care
I
of
know he's there.
it.
I
Yeah.
love you, Enos.
And
Have a
he's not
good to
having
see you.
any grits this morning.
No grits with sugar and butter. Okay,
So
love you guys. Grateful
love you
for you.
guys. Have
We
a
know
beautiful
our
day.
people.
Awesome.
We'll
We
see
know
you
Love
our
Monday,
people.
you.
everyone.